The landscape of World Wrestling Entertainment (WWE) has been defined by the gravitational pull of Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, and the saga of the Bloodline. Yet, as the calendar turns, the narrative has taken a breathtaking turn, moving beyond the traditional heel-face dynamic into a complex web of mutual, though precarious, self-interest. The newest, and arguably most explosive, development is the formation of an uneasy, temporary truce between Reigns and his two greatest rivals, Cody Rhodes, the man who finally finished his story, and CM Punk, the rebellious voice of the voiceless. This alliance is not born of respect or friendship, but of a shared, immediate threat, marking a seminal moment in WWE history where personal vendettas are momentarily shelved for a greater strategic objective. The catalyst: an external threat to the dynasty. The catalyst for this improbable partnership is the rise of an external faction whose sheer dominance and ruthless efficiency threaten the established power structures of both the Bloodline and the WWE itself. While the specifics of this new group are veiled in mystery, their impact has been undeniable: systematic attacks on high-profile members of the Bloodline, interference in main event matches, and a campaign of psychological warfare aimed directly at eroding the authority of Reigns. For Reigns, whose entire identity is rooted in his position as the head of the table, and the unquestioned leader of his family, this aggression is an existential crisis. The Bloodline's legitimacy is predicated on their ability to conquer all challengers. Failure to neutralize this threat would not only cost him championship gold but could dissolve his dynastic control entirely. Cody Rhodes, the reluctant strategist. Cody Rhodes, the reigning WWE Champion, spent years obsessed with dethroning Reigns. That mission is complete, but his reign is now jeopardized by the very same external force targeting the Bloodline. Rhodes' motivation for agreeing to the truce is purely pragmatic. He understands that a weakened Reigns allows the new faction to consolidate power, putting his own championship at immediate risk. The dynamic between Reigns and Rhodes is a powder keg. Their conversations are terse, focused solely on tactical execution. Rhodes sees the alliance as a means to an end: secure his title reign by utilizing Reigns' resources and numbers, the very numbers that once tormented him. For Rhodes, it's a cold calculation: better the devil you know than the one you don't. The moment the external threat is neutralized, the underlying tension promises a championship rematch of unparalleled intensity. CM Punk, the wildcard of convenience. The inclusion of CM Punk, the ultimate outsider, is perhaps the most shocking element of this temporary union. Punk has historically disdained corporate structure, which the Bloodline essentially embodies. However, Punk operates on a deeply personal code, and the new faction has targeted him, not for a championship, but to silence his outspoken critiques of the system. Punk's role in the truce is the most volatile. He doesn't respect Reigns, nor does he particularly trust Rhodes, but he despises oppression and censorship. He views the alliance as a temporary platform to gain access to the new faction and dismantle them from within. His contributions are intellectual and psychological, leveraging his mastery of the microphone and his unpredictable in-ring style to sow discord within the enemy ranks. Paul Heyman, the special counsel for the Bloodline, views Punk with the utmost suspicion, recognizing him as the single most likely individual to betray the pact. The operational dynamics of the truce. The operational structure of this bizarre alliance is highly compartmentalized. Intelligence and strategy. Reigns and Heyman use their resources to gather information, coordinate strategic attacks, and manage the logistics of the combined forces. Reigns ensures the sanctity of the Bloodline's tactical role, demanding loyalty and discipline from his family members, even when working alongside rivals. Frontline execution. Cody Rhodes acts as the primary in-ring general, leveraging his position as champion and his connection with the audience to challenge the new faction directly. He brings a crucial, high-stakes exposure to the narrative, ensuring maximum visibility for their joint efforts. Subversion and psychological warfare. CM Punk is tasked with verbal assaults, planting seeds of doubt, and disrupting the cohesiveness of the opposing group. His feuds are often designed to be personal and demoralizing, weakening the faction's resolve before the physical confrontation. The inevitable collapse. The longevity of this truce is universally understood to be short-lived. This is a story of three alphas sharing a very small territory. The moment the immediate threat is vanquished, the tension that has been merely suppressed will erupt. For Roman Reigns, the ultimate goal is not just victory, but the reaffirmation of his status as the only dominant force. An alliance with rivals, no matter how brief, can be seen as a sign of weakness. Therefore, the conclusion of this chapter must involve Reigns decisively defeating both Rhodes and Punk, or at least neutralizing their influence, to prove that the Bloodline never truly needed them. For Cody Rhodes, the end of the truce means reclaiming the narrative focus, proving that he can stand alone as a champion without needing the temporary help of his adversary. He must be ready to defend the championship against a Reigns who will feel entitled to a rematch based on their joint victory. And for CM Punk, the collapse will be the final opportunity to expose the hypocrisy of the tribal chief, solidifying his role as the anti-establishment icon by turning on the alliance and targeting Reigns' authority. The uneasy truce is not an ending, but a temporary bridge to an even larger confrontation. It is a masterpiece of pro wrestling storytelling, where heroes, villains, and anti-heroes unite under a black flag, knowing that as soon as the battle is won, the war among them will begin anew. This chapter will define the legacy of the Bloodline for years to come.